Welcome to the Cosmopolitan. What's going on, everybody? We are back at one of my favorite properties in all of Las Vegas, maybe even in the world, the Cosmopolitan. Now, we are in a different room than we've ever been in before. I've lost count of how many times I've stayed at the Cosmopolitan. We've never had this room before. We've had the wraparound terrace, which you guys have seen, been following the channel. We've had some other great suites and rooms here, but this is a 1-bedroom terrace fountain view suite, I believe is what it's called. It'll be in the title just to get clarification because there's so many different room options here. This is a great room. I'm really excited to show you guys something different. Let's do a room tour. So as you first walk in, what I really like is how you have all of the light switch options in here. So if you want to turn off everything, you have the option, hello, goodbye, relax will be nice and like sort of low-key mood letting, let's call it that. You do have the adjoining door. Not crazy about that, but it does look like it's locked at least. So hopefully we'll be safe. Cross our fingers. Now, very spacious room, but very well laid out as well. It's not as large as like the wraparound terrace suite that you guys saw previously. I think last year we did that room tour, but it's still a really great room. 2 bathrooms, and I was actually quite surprised to see that with this particular bathroom, usually you expect a bathroom to like this to just have just a sink and a toilet, like a little powder room basically. This one actually has a shower as well, so you can actually come in here, not bother anybody if you want to freshen up. And it's a spacious shower. It doesn't have the bench like the other shower does, but it's still a really spacious shower. What I really, really like as well, if you guys remember, I had a little bit of a beef in one of the other videos when I saw some of the Cosmopolitan stuff that they used to have in here. They've had a few different brands in here. At one point they had C.O. Bigelow. I can't remember the last brand they had when we were here the last time, but they started putting some of the regular like MGM products in here. Now they have their very own Cosmo products, and to me, that's what you need. Like Cosmopolitan, as much as I understand it is in the MGM portfolio, it's always had its own personality, and I really like that they're trying to keep it that way, and I think it's really important. Again, the communal stuff I have mixed feelings about. For example, this one is not tamper-proof. As you can see, you can open it, so you know I can't help but wonder if other people are putting things in there, if you know what I mean. At least with this one, the conditioner, it does have this lock on here so you can't tamper with it. But yeah, I don't really love the fact that the shampoo and the body wash do not have those on there, and not really my favorite communal stuff, but anyway, it's fine. It does look like it's a premium product though. You got a lot of lavender, jojoba, cedarwood, things like that. So yeah, so looks like it's nice stuff at least, which I do love. Even here you can see this shea butter, whoops, this shea butter does have the tamper-proof lock on it, so I do appreciate they did that. What I find funny in every Cosmopolitan bathroom, pretty much, you're gonna have a face. I don't know what it is, but I guess they just like it, you know, you to feel inspired and have a little company when you're doing what you gotta do. So it's nice that they still have that in this particular room. Let's continue on. Sorry, actually one thing I did want to point out is just little things like this, these little locks and things like that. It's just these little added bits of personality that the Cosmopolitan has that a lot of other properties don't have, let's say that. So let's continue. In here is where you're gonna have, where you can basically do your in-suite dining. If you wanna do room service, or maybe you're running across the street and just grabbing some food to bring to your room, you can all just kind of hang out here. It's great if you want to just have breakfast, coffee, whatever you want to do here. I think that's really nice. There is a mini bar over here. There is a bit of storage too, actually. So if you want to throw your stuff in here, if you do have maybe some snacks and stuff you want to keep out of the room, there's some extra little spots in there. In here, you do have a mini fridge. So if you do have your own leftovers, you have some waters and things like that, you can throw them in there. Again, not every property in Vegas has those. So whenever I do see them in a room, I am really happy to see that. You do have the dreaded little snacks here for purchase, the in-room amenities, as well as the mini bar. I'm just gonna say to you guys now, don't even look at it. Don't even open it. You do have the QR codes here if you do want to get to an idea of prices, but you're looking at probably easily at least a 5 to 10 times markup on a lot of this stuff. You guys are in a good location at the Cosmopolitan being center strip. You're right across the street from Planet Hollywood, for example, which has ABC, you've got a CVS over there. You've got a lot of places where if you really want to go get some snacks, drinks, things like that, you're pretty well covered. I would say just avoid this stuff. Even down in the casino, you can probably get free water bottles and things like that. So I would just say just avoid it, just better. I like the artwork in here. I just find these little touches of personality that the Cosmopolitan has that other hotels don't have, like the pictures over there, over here. I just really like that. This kind of sneaky little closet I wasn't expecting. Actually caught me off guard. Not a whole lot of room for storage in here. You do have your safe in here, rather small, but you do have your safe in there, if you do want to lock your stuff up. And I guess you could throw maybe a small suitcase or some shoes in there or something like that to keep them out of the way. But other than that, above there's no hooks or anything like that, so you're not going to put too much up there, but still good to have in the room. This is a great dining, sort of living room. There's a lot of echo in here, which I don't know if you're picking up. This wall to me reminds me of like a disco with little speakers on the wall. I just think it's kind of a cool, I just like the decor in here. And I like that the couch kind of complements the angles of the walls and things like that. There is a little bit of wear and tear. I'm just gonna look down here. It looks pretty clean for the most part. We've seen some rooms where sometimes stuff gets put behind the couches. Looks like it's pretty okay over here, but there is something there. I don't know what that is. But, again, some of these rooms you're looking at, the Cosmopolitan opened in 2010, 2010, 2011. So, some of these rooms obviously are getting up there. I know they have had a few little upgrades here and there, but, there's still some wear and tear here and there, which is to be expected. But still a great living room area. You do have a separate TV in here as well, a little bench if you just want to hang out. You have probably what makes the Cosmopolitan, which is the balconies. Now we did book specifically a room with the fountain view, so you do have Bellagio right next door. If you are staying on the side that faces the north, you are going to get probably a pretty good view of the fountains, but that does come with a bit of an upgrade fee and a little bit of an extra charge, so just keep that in mind. We are currently also in the Boulevard Tower, so we're in the Chelsea Tower. I always get them mixed up. We are in the Chelsea Tower, which is the larger tower, and it's a little bit further back from the Strip. The Boulevard Tower is obviously closer to Las Vegas Boulevard. It's a bit of a smaller tower, a lot more bigger rooms in there, and you're also closer to the pool, some of the pools, and it's just down, the streets in general. So you're probably getting a little bit more noise over there, whereas here you're gonna get a little bit more peace, a little more quiet. You will hear the jets from the Bellagio Fountains and stuff like that, but it's nothing aggressive. You'll be fine. You also do have a possible entrance over here into the other area, which we'll save that for the end of the tour. Let's check out the bedroom. Bedroom area of the Cosmopolitan. This is a great bedroom. I don't think I've ever had a bad room in the Cosmopolitan, if I'm being completely honest with you. The beds here are usually very comfortable. I love the setup. I think it's just a smart setup. You've got the bench here if you want to throw your shoes on. We were staying in another room previously that didn't have that bench, and it's not something I think about, but I missed it, like when I wanted to just put my shoes on and things like that. So I do like having them around. Like I said, very comfortable beds usually for the most part. I love how all the things have the different controls in there if you want to plug anything in. You also have little lights here if you want to maybe get up in the middle of the night, don't want to disturb your partner, or if you want to maybe do some reading or things like that, you can do that without bothering anybody. And of course you have all your light switches here as well, so if you want to turn the lights off in the bathroom, you can do that from here, which is nice as well. So if you want to maybe have a little cheeky wee in the middle of the night, you've got the option to do that. Yeah, great room, great bedroom. Nice little couch area as well. So again, if you do want to just kind of hang out and just chill. I will say one missed opportunity in here. Obviously there's not gonna be a pull out in here. I don't believe, no, that's not a pull out either. So it probably would have been smart to have had a pull out in here because this room really is for two people. You could get a rollaway bed. You could have someone maybe crash on the couch, but they're not gonna be very comfortable at the end of the day. So this, although it's very spacious, really is, I would say, comfortably max for two people. Closet area over here. So again, very spacious. I love little cheeky nods that they have in here. So for example, the wallpaper, it's a nice classy room. And then you go into this room here with this silver and pink, metallic wallpaper with I don't know, this looks like there's a story there. I don't know if that's Chuck Norris or what, Texas Ranger. There's butterflies, there's guns, there's all kinds of stuff in there. It's just kind of funny. I know we've had other rooms where we've had like the Queen of England in there as well. So they just have little cheeky nods in there that I just love the personality the Cosmopolitan brings. You have your slippers is here, which you can bring home as well. They actually are branded Cosmopolitan. So if you want a little free souvenir, they've got you there. Ironing board. You have robes as well. The robes are not for taking home. Do not take the robes home. You will be charged a hefty fee for that as well. So, but yeah, plenty of storage here. We have 2 full-size suitcases, as well as our shoes and bags and things like that. So a lot of storage in there, so that's good. You've got your full size mirror here as well. So if you do want to, after you've showered, not ready, want to make sure everything's looking okay, they've got you covered there. One thing I found to be a bit weird, and I wish there was a bit of an explanation previously, is this closet here. Now this must be some kind of a maintenance closet where they probably have some stuff for like cleaning, maybe some extra toilet paper, things like that, but it is locked. And I would love to know what's in there, and I wish they had said, by the way, you're gonna have this room in there, you're not gonna be able to access it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who come into this room and probably call down and say they're locked out of their closet or whatever the case is. Yeah, this is probably not for you, so just don't even worry about it. Bathroom number 2. So you do have a large soaking tub as well. It's not like big this way, but it's nice and deep. Once again, another little cheeky nod here. You do have another face on the wall with this kind of like nice artsy wallpaper, which is really cool. Just a really nice spacious bathroom, which I love. It's a lot of space, maybe too much space, maybe a bit of wasted space almost, but I love how the echo in here is just really great. You do have another shower, like I said, in here, which has the bench. So if you have been walking up and down the Las Vegas Strip all day, you're tired, at least you can kind of just sit there, have a little soak, have a little steam, whatever you need. And I will say all of the products in here do have the tamper-proof locks in here. So if you are concerned, at least you can use the ones in here, maybe avoid the ones over there just in case, but yeah, just something to note. I love the towels in here too. I just find it gives me like that like mermaid kind of iridescent feel, which is kind of cool. So yeah, really happy about that. Their vanity areas are great as well. You've got the dual vanity, so if you're traveling with your partner, it's awesome to have. They do include your hair dryer usually in here. Yeah, there it is. So if you want to wash the hair while you're here. They do think of all the extras as well, and that comes from being in a more premium hotel. So you do have the vanity kit in here usually, which has some extra Q-tips, some cotton pads as well. So they do think of those little extra amenities if you have forgotten yours, like for example, the mouthwash and the dental kit. So again, these are things that if you have forgotten to bring your own, at least they have you covered. And it's just one of those things that just gives you that added sense of security, like just comfort, not having to worry about it, which is, I love hotels that do that. And once again, you got your moisturizing body lotion with the tamper-proof locks on there, so kudos for that. And of course, you got your magnetized light up mirror. Once again, another toilet in here as well. So, and just because we gotta have some company, you do have another face in here to watch you do what you're doing. So it's just, yeah, again, those little fun little touches that they have in the bathrooms here that I've always loved about the Cosmopolitan. Now the piece de resistance, the reason why you're booking the Cosmopolitan over some of maybe the other hotels in Las Vegas is the terraces, or the balconies as some people call them. This is not something you're gonna find in every hotel, which is what makes it, what sets it apart really. Nothing can prepare you for some of these views that you're gonna get. So we actually did book a room on the other side for some friends before. And as much as it is great to have the balcony, have the views and everything, and just be able to get outside and get some fresh air, you're still in Las Vegas, but nothing beats having the view of the fountains, being able to sit out here at night when it's dark, having the Bellagio Fountains with the, you can't hear the music unfortunately, but you can definitely hear those jets going. You've got great views of all the, the north end of the strip as well. You can see as far as to, the Conrad, and you can, or sorry, Resorts World. You got the Sphere. You got all kinds of just great things that if you didn't know you were in Las Vegas, now you know. And to me, nothing beats this view. Of all the hotels I've ever stayed in, of all the places I've stayed in, nothing beats these fountain views at the Cosmopolitan. Back inside. Alrighty guys, so that is gonna do it for this particular tour of this room. I'm really excited for this room. I love the fact that we have 2 entrances to the balcony. I love the fact that we've got this little separate living room area, which we're sure to not use. We never do. We always like having them. We tend to just basically come in here, shower, get dressed, whatnot, and then sleep. So, a lot of this stuff, at least for us, is wasted space, especially as we are just here, the 2 of us. We have come here before in groups where there's been a couple of us, and at least we've been maybe been able to have people over, drinks, and before we go out and things like that. But at least for this particular trip, we probably didn't really need this living room, but it's nice to have, right? Honestly, guys, I love the Cosmopolitan. I can't say enough good things about it. The location is amazing. You are right in the middle of the Strip. You're right next to the Bellagio. You're right where everybody wants to be. You're right across the street from Planet Hollywood, the mecca of cheap eats and places to get like, you know, cheap waters, or at least more reasonably priced waters, I should say, snacks, things like that. And like I said, just cheap eats. Even in here alone, you've got some great restaurants. We just ate at Super Frico the other night. Love that place. Really miss having the show Opium here, but unfortunately it did go away a couple years ago. But still lots of great things to do here. It's just a fun venue in general. It is very trendy while still remaining classy. Just, yeah, as I said, just it's one of my all-time favorites. Probably one of the places I've stayed the most in Las Vegas. First time being well over 10 years ago. I think it was probably around 2013-ish, give or take. So, you know, I have seen some changes here over the years, especially with the MGM takeover. So I really hope that MGM does continue to kind of give Cosmo its own identity and its own, you know, kind of unique flavor, because it really is so different from some of the other resorts on the Las Vegas Strip. So yeah. But as I said, that's probably going to do it. I could speak forever about my great times and great memories here. They have some great pools as well, which I can leave linked down below for some pool videos that we spent a lot of times in the pools here over the years. I will also link down below some other videos for some other room options, depending on, you know, what you're looking for. If you're looking for some of the cheaper rooms that don't actually have balconies, because not every room here has a balcony. That is considered an upgrade. So I've got some videos on that. I've got some other just, you know, fantastic rooms here, some other more basic rooms. So just a few options for you guys if you are considering booking at the Cosmopolitan. But my overall thoughts and feelings and opinions is you really can't go wrong here. I mean, even the maintenance, like, it's pretty clean in here. It looks like it's been well taken care of. I don't see any garbage or trash on the floor or anything like that, anything that's been missed. It looks like it's all been very well taken care of, and to me that speaks volumes. So yeah, love the Cosmopolitan. So if I've missed anything though, please do not hesitate to leave any of your questions, comments below. It's really helpful to other travelers. They probably have the same questions that you guys have. It's also really helpful for me because any interaction you guys have with my videos, whether you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, it all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, I say please consider subscribing to the channel. Totally free for you. Really helps me keep delivering this free content to you. Once again, this has been Daniel Spotlight. Viva Las Vegas. Viva the Cosmopolitan. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye. One bedroom terrace suite.
Yeah.
Yeah.